Well, hello, my good faithful YouTube viewers and listeners. It's been a while, huh? How you guys doing? My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jared Bear. Today's date is Wednesday, March 10th, 2021. Thanks for stopping by and indulging me for a little while. I haven't done a daily rant in quite some time that I actually forgot how to do it. No, I'm kidding. I haven't forgotten. Just been busy, a lot of things going on. There is a main bigger point to this daily rant today, and I'm going to divulge in that here in the next little while. But first of all, I wanted to reiterate that a friend of mine and I have reconciled our differences. We hadn't spoken for a long time. They know who they are. We had a nice 2.5 hour conversation on Sunday. We've been texting one another, and we're trying to rebuild the friendship, and that person knows who they are, and so I just wanted to use this time to thank them publicly for for wanting to reconcile the differences and to rebuild on the friendship, because I am very happy. I feel very whole again. I feel very complete, and I'm very excited about rebuilding our friendship. And we exchanged our apologies because we both said some things about one another that wasn't very nice, and I said some very colorful things here about this person that wasn't very nice. But so we have definitely reconciled our differences. We're speaking again, which makes me so happy. And I was informed that I could text this person anytime, and maybe we can, plan future phone calls in the near future, which would be great. I look forward to that as well. So everything is good there. So, I don't know what else to say about that other than I am ecstatic. I am very, very happy, and I'm glad that I have that person back in my life again, because my life is better with them in it. So I wanted to use that time to do a little shout out to this person. And so now on to the main topic of this daily rant, which I'm hoping that this message will kind of resonate with a lot of you, especially if you're parents, because I think I'm like the last of my friends to have kids. I don't have kids. All my friends have kids. I don't. But this is something that I needed to talk about, because this was actually something that was on the local news. It was the topic of a major news story here in my area, and I wanted to kind of divulge in that a little bit. I wanted to unpack that and kind of talk about that. So, as we all know, we do have an issue with online predators. This is an objective truth. We all know that this is, we can all agree that this is a fact, that this is real, this actually happens. And just recently there was an issue where young kids were being targeted by online predators. And they were giving off tips on what you can do as parents to prevent this kind of thing from happening. And this is what I'm going to say about it. Now, because I don't have kids, most of you are probably thinking, well, how could you have an opinion about this? You don't have children. I don't have to have children to have common fucking sense. So I'm just going to fire away and see if this resonates with any of you. And by the way, I want to preface this by saying that I don't defend online predators of any kind whatsoever. So we're going to get that said and out of the way before I go on with the opinions and the thoughts that I have about this. So first of all, when you allow for your children to have social media, phones, all that good stuff, you're subjecting them to that. You know what the risks are, and yet you're still allowing it. Because, that's the in thing right now. That all the kids are into that. That's what they all do. Okay. But as you've stated, and I've heard this from I don't know how many parents, because I show support to talent of all ages, adults and kids. So I've heard the same thing over and over and over again of, these are different times. Yes, so you recognize that these are different times. You've recognized that. Thank you. So my question to you is, first of all, Why are you allowing your kids to have all this access and taking risks where you know for a fact, because you said that we live in different times, that you're still going to move forward and allowing your kids to have access to the outside world without your knowing or your supervision, which is also common. And this was the main core of this issue that I really wanted to make known. I wanted to put this out there because this may be a vital key piece of information for you parents to remember and to kind of chew on and think about a little bit. So, speaking from my own experience, this was back in the 2010s, like 15, 16, I think it was, when I joined Twitter, maybe 13, maybe earlier than that. And because I was really collecting autograph pictures, it's just a hobby. I like to collect autographs. I have nearly 400 autographs of young talent, teenage talent, older talent, and there's a wide range of age range between the children and the adults. There's just a wide, vast range of age. So I've been collecting autographs since 2007, and I did run into an issue back then when I first got with Twitter, where parents were bitching and bellyaching because, oh, well, I just don't want you speaking to my kid and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is where the rubber meets the road, and this is the opinion that I've come to, and it may be, something true. I may be onto something here, but I want you to think about this for a minute, especially if you're a parent who is in charge of your child's social media. So, with that being said, if you are in charge of your child's social media account, then you, by rights at this point, you're already aware of the risk. Obviously, because if there wasn't a risk and if you weren't aware of the risk, you would just let your kid do whatever they want on the internet. You give them a phone, you don't know the sites they're going on, you don't know the people they're speaking with. You just give them a phone and say, here, fire away, have fun. So if you are in charge of your child's social media, knowing that there are creeps on the internet, and by the way, not all of us have evil, nefarious intentions, but if you are one of those parents in charge of your child's social media, then you already know, you're already aware of the risk involved. And if, say for example, if there's a young actor or musician, whatever the case may be, and I approach that account, or if I ever would, if I approach that account and I say, hey, congratulations, you're a very talented young person, congratulations, good luck, whatever. You can't get upset with me if I'm speaking to you, because your chain of logic is flawed and it falls apart at the seams. Because think about it. If you're in charge of your kid's social media account, and if I reach out to that account and I say, good job, congratulations, am I not speaking to you? I'm speaking to an adult, right? So there really is no fear at that point if I'm speaking to you. The only fear is that when parents say, well, I don't appreciate you talking to my kid, and if I am in fact actually talking to the kid, well, that's not my problem. That's your responsibility. You are the parent or the legal guardian or whatever. That is your responsibility to ensure that things like that don't happen. Now, mind you, I'm not that kind of a person. I'm not a predator. I'm not anything like that. But not all of us out there are going to be as understanding about this. Not especially men, because we get such a bad rep. We're not going to be as nice. Not everybody's going to be as nice or as civil about this. You can't shift the blame on the person when you are the one who was irresponsible in the first place and letting your kids have full and direct access to their own social media. That doesn't make any sense. If you are in charge of your child's social media, and if an adult approaches you, or approaches the account, I should say, and says, I'm proud of you, congratulations, good job, then there is no threat, because if you're in charge of that They're speaking to you. They're not speaking to your kid. So there is no threat, and you have no leg to stand on whatsoever. And all this what if nonsense. Well, what if it was my kid? Well, what if it was your kid? What kind of parent are you at this point? Because if you're allowing your kid to have full and direct access to their own social media without proper supervision, that's a big what if, isn't it? Wouldn't you agree? I know a lot of people aren't going to be thrilled about this. I know a lot of people are going to be irritated and pissed off. But this was actually something I pointed out before. And it wasn't in a daily rant or a Sunday video. Oh, it might have been in a Sunday video update now that I think about it. But in any event, guys, look. You are in charge. You are the parent, legal guardian, whatever you want to call yourself, the steward of this child's well-being, whatever. All I'm saying is that you can't have it both ways. If you are, in fact, in charge of your child's social media, great. However, there's still no justification to get all upset and all pissy if an adult approaches that account and says, good job, I seen you in this project, this movie, this film, this performance, whatever. I saw you, I noticed you, I thought you were great. You have no rational justification for getting upset about that, especially if we're speaking to you, the parent. The only way, and really, there is no rational justification for you getting upset, because you would still be allowing that to happen either way, right? You would still be allowing for quote-unquote strangers to come up, and you think that, it's wrong. You think it's so horrible because, well, there's all kinds of creeps in the world. Well, not all of us are creeps. You have willingly gone ahead and allowed for your kid to have full and direct access to their own social media accounts. If you're one of those parents and you want to get all pissy and bitchy about grown-ups talking to your kid, that's your fault. That's your responsibility. That's not up to me or anyone else. That's on you. The onus is on you to make sure that your children are safe and protected on the internet. And if in fact we're speaking to you, the adult, then there's no justification to get upset. We're talking to the grown-up, not the kid. And by the way, just as an extra slice of advice here, just because grown men or grown women speak to children, it doesn't by default make them a pedophile. We have got to get over that way of thinking. That's such bullshit thinking. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense at all. Just because a grown-up talks to a kid, it does not by default make them a pedophile. So there must be a lot of fucking pedophiles out there then if that's the case, right? How do we know the parents aren't? If we're going to play that game, then we can consider all of the alternatives. Parents can be pedophiles, teachers can be pedophiles, which there are. Clergymen, we know for a fact, there are lots of pedophiles, especially in the Catholic Church. What about playground supervisors at school? What about bus drivers? What about daycare providers? What about all these people who want to care for children? If we're going to make such a big deal out of just a random person talking to a kid or saying hello or having a conversation with a kid, then you are essentially part of the fucking problem, and you have really got to get your shit together. I mean, seriously, get your shit together. Unless you have actual hard proof or evidence that someone is in fact a creep or a pedophile, then you would be justified in saying, you know what, I don't want that guy talking to my kid, and then you go and warn, quote-unquote warn, all of these other parents. But even still, if you're allowing your kid on the fucking internet, if you're allowing them to have complete and full direct access to social media without your supervision, you're no fucking better than anybody else. I know, it sucks to be confronted with the truth. I know, I can hear my haters right now, oh, Jared, that's such bullshit, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. It's bullshit because you don't agree with it. That's the only thing that's bullshit, is because it goes against what you are expected to do and how you're expected to react. Because it goes against that. It goes against those principles, the societal principles. Well, I'm not at fault. And I don't accept fault for anything, because if I'm talking to anybody, it doesn't matter whom. If I want to say hello, good job, congratulations, I'm going to do it. There's no real threat. The only way there would be a threat is if you, as the parent, are saying, well, I don't want you talking to my kid. Well, why the fuck is your kid on the internet without your supervision anyway? And even still, if you don't want the world knowing about your kid, then why the fuck would you have a page or an account dedicated to your kid? Stands to reason, doesn't it? I mean, doesn't make much fucking sense to me. I'm sure there's plenty more people out there who would agree with that. Just look around and ask. I'm sure you'd find at least 1 or 5 or maybe 10 or 20 of them. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know. Just thought I'd put that out there. And if you don't feel comfortable with people talking to your kid, then maybe you should take control of their social media, and then we can have the conversation, which I don't mind having the conversations with adults. I have lots of adult friends. They know me, they know who I am, they know that I'm cool, they know that I would never do anything nefarious or, out of line or out of context or anything like that. They know who I am. And I notice that this is becoming a bigger issue, because then guys like me, because I don't have kids, I'm talking to a woman, but we're not officially in a relationship. But either way, it puts guys like me into this very dirty category, that somehow there's something wrong with me, that I have some nefarious intention going on. And I gotta tell you, it's really shitty to be thrown into that category. Well, why do you need to talk to children anyway? I don't need to talk to children, but children are still people, are they not? Are they not capable of communicating with other human beings? There's no need or desire to speak with kids, but casually, if I spot them, if I notice them from somewhere, and if they do a good job with acting or their musicianship or whatever the case is, whatever the case may be, whatever their trade is, then of course I want to congratulate them. I want to say, hey, you did a good job. I like this song, or I like your performance in this movie or this particular piece. We really gotta, we have to really think about how we approach things like this, because not all of us are bad. Not all of us have nefarious intentions. I had the same issue with people in the child and cancer world. Well, I don't want you having anything to do with my kid. Well, why the fuck is your kid on the internet then? Seriously, why? What kind of fucking parent are you if you're going to allow your child to have full access to the internet if it's such a big deal or such a big problem to you? The whole thing is stupid anyway. Now, if I had a kid, and if they wanted social media, I would consider it, but with exceptions. Of course, there's going to be restrictions. I don't want you talking to anybody you don't know. Or, if I'm in charge, if it's like this, if I'm in charge of your account, I don't care if they talk to me, because they can think they're speaking to you, but they're really talking to me. So if they want to talk to me, cool. But I'm going to trust you to have your own social media. You're going to have full access to your own account, but I'm going to watch it like a hawk. Because if anybody gets stupid on there or says something out of line or derogatory, then they're gone. However, if my kid was an actor, of course you're going to get people who might be fans. They might notice my kid if they were in a movie, or if they're musicians in a popular band. Maybe not extraordinarily famous, but if they're popular enough with the younger crowd or just with people in general, yeah, there's got to be some leeway for fan interaction, but rest assured, I would still be watching it like a hawk, and I would definitely, and I mean definitely, have full control of the conversation. If anybody wants to get stupid, or if anyone has anything to say that is derogatory, not appropriate for children, they're fucking history. End of discussion. That's it. And a lot of the parents, like I said, a lot of my friends who are in the entertainment world, they're pretty cool with me talking to them or having conversations with their kids. They're pretty cool about that kind of thing. I don't really have much of an issue. It's all of these other people who just, well, the times that we're living in, listen, I know about the times we're living in, trust me. If I really and truly had nefarious intentions of doing something, by now, don't you think I would have done it if that were the case? But see, I'm not that kind of a person. So I don't have those intentions. I don't have those desires. That's just not who I am. But it's something that, it's the other side of that particular situation that never gets light shown onto it because of the fact that we want to villainize people who are just trying to be nice and say, hello, how you doing? The fucking media is good for shit like this. They want to pass along this narrative that every grown person, particularly men, we get the shit end of the stick on this deal. So even if we were to, if we're on social media or whatever, and we find a page and say, hey, good job on that, I really enjoyed your performance and such, whatever. The parents of this generation have been instructed and informed by the media to contact the authorities. Oh my God, someone I don't know is talking to my kid. Get real. Get fucking real. Seriously. If I approach you and I just say, hey, I think your kid did a good job, or, you did a good job in this. There's no justification to get upset. Not really. Well, I really don't know you. Okay, I really don't know you. But I recognized your kid's face in this production or whatever, in this film, and I just wanted to come along and say, hey, good job, and leave it as that. There's no reason to, well, on the news, they told me to do this, and society's telling me to do this. Fuck what society says. Try having a single thought in your own head. Go by your own gut instinct for once. Think outside the societal box. Think for yourself. And think, you know what? This is the truth. I have never, and I have to really hand it to these parents, first of all, before I get to the next point. I got to hand it to these parents who say, you know what? I've been friends with Jared for a long time, and I have never one time noticed anything like that about him. He has never approached me in that way because I'm not that kind of guy. That's why. But you really have to think for yourself. You have to take everything in a case-by-case situation. Because not everybody has nefarious intentions. And I do understand it can take a lifetime trying to figure out who's good and who's bad. I get it. But, yes, we are in the day and age of social media. We do live in different times now. I agree. When I was a kid, we didn't have all the shit. And now that we're in higher technology and we have higher standards of technology and we've made major technological advances, I'm going to take full advantage of that. And if there's people that I can speak to, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely, I'm going to take full advantage of it. Just like you do. The evidence of that is that you're listening to this. The evidence of that is that you're thumbs downing this video right now. Okay? But that's how it is. If it's really an issue for you, then don't let your kids on the internet. It's really that simple. Oh, but I can't shelter them. Okay, so then what's the fucking problem? You can't have it both ways. You can't shelter your kids. You're absolutely right. Absolutely. You're correct. They're going to have to face the world one day, sooner or later. And they have to know how to survive in this world. Not everybody who says hello, not everybody who smiles at you, not everybody who waves at you or at your kid or whatever the case may be, Maybe they are genuinely nice and friendly people, and they have no ill will or nefarious intentions up their sleeve. This is why most parents I know, and I have lots of friends, by the way, most of my friends who are parents, they don't allow for their children to have their own social media because they are aware of the risk. And I got to hand it to them. They recognize that the responsibility, the onus, is incumbent on what they choose to do, as opposed to, well, this is what's popular, I got to give my kids some freedom. But the minute someone talks to your kid, if you're giving them full and direct access to their own social media, and the minute someone that you don't know, a complete stranger, comes up and says, hey, good job with, the thing you were in. I thought you were good. Congratulations. I liked it. And then you want to block them or get all pissy and bitchy-fied, you are unjustified. And I hope this kind of triggers some kind of thought. I really and truly hope it does. I'm not saying let your guard down. I'm not saying don't protect your kids. I'm all about protecting children. Absolutely. 100%. I'm all about protecting children. However, there's a lot of other things you got to consider as well. There's this idea that, just because someone says congratulations, it doesn't mean that they are bad people. If they say congratulations or whatever the case may be, if they offer some kind of just a nice compliment, that they don't have any nefarious intentions. There is nothing else. And when I saw this on the news, I'm thinking, are you fucking kidding me? Jesus Christ. So while I do understand that there are online predators, like legit online predators, that really lumps the rest of us into this very disgusting category of, he's a grown man, he has nothing better to do, why is he talking to my kid, oh my God, I freak out. Really, come on now. I think we're at the point where most of you, if not all of you, recognize the problem. And if you aren't in fact one of those parents who has full command and full charge of your child's social media, and someone approaches the account with your kid's name and face and all that, you have to understand that if they're speaking to you, there is no reason to get mad. There is no rational justification for getting upset. They're not speaking to your kid, which is what you want, obviously. They're speaking to you. Okay? That's it. And, again, one more time for clarity, if you're allowing your kid to have full access to their own social media, still, that's your stupidity. That's your fuck up. That's where you made the mistake. And you have no right getting mad at people who want to interact with your kid on the internet. You should have been more on the ball. I don't care what everybody else has to say about that. Oh, well, so you think it's okay for actual creeps to talk to kids? No. What I'm saying is that it's your responsibility as a parent to make sure that if this is something that really and truly bothers you, you have to consider what your options are. Stop going with the stupid bullshit of, well, it's the internet, all the kids are on it now. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter, because then what happens is we create this new generation of people who are afraid of their own fucking shadow. And let's go and point fingers and blame everybody for everything else in the world, because I, for one, am so special. I am above and beyond everybody else, and everybody else who wants to talk to my kid, or myself for that matter, they've got problems. Give me a fucking break. That's what I'm saying. Now look, I have lots of friends whose kids have social media, I'm sure. But even if I did speak to them, I can almost assure you that their parents have full and complete control of their child's social media. Or if their kids have full access and control of their social media on their own, the parents are watching it and monitoring that account like a hawk. And they're not getting upset. What they're doing is they're saying, okay, I maybe you shouldn't have your own account. That's what they're saying. Now, if you don't have an issue with that, because it's social media, of course. But if you don't have an issue with your kids having full and complete control and access to their social media on their own, okay, cool. You're trusting them, and they know how to react or how to respond to situations only if it's warranted. Which means that if they just say congratulations or good job with this or good job with that, there's really no threat. What's so threatening about congratulating your kid on a job well done? We live in this kind of a world now, which I'm aware of. We live in this kind of a world now where you can't so much as talk to a kid or look at a kid or, my God, when I was, okay, perfect example. I was at Walmart not too long ago, and I was standing in line. I was at the checkout. I had my stuff. I'm just kind of looking around at the end cap, see if there's anything I forgot to grab before I got to the register. And there were, some young kids in front of me. And I think it was their mom. I'm going to assume it was their mother. And she kind of gave me a dirty look. Like, why are you looking at my kids? Well, I can't walk around with my fucking eyes closed. If they look at me and wave, I'll smile and wave back. What's the harm? Where is the harm in that? And then look at me like who are you? Your kid waved at me. What the fuck are you talking about? Who am I? I'm a customer waiting to pay for my items. She didn't actually say anything to me, but it was just that look that she had given, like, you're just waving to my kid. Most parents are pretty cool about that. They'll laugh and kind of giggle, and it's like, are you waving to that guy over there? Well, I'll wave back. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. But most parents out there, they've got sand in their vaginas, and they want to make big deals about it. And it's like, you can't treat everybody like they've got some kind of an issue. You can't treat everybody like they have nefarious intentions. You just can't do it. Because not everybody is that way. I'm sorry. They're just not. And I'm one of them. I'm not someone with nefarious intentions. You can't just write people off for no good fucking reason. You can't. Otherwise, that makes you look stupid. And you think because, well, I don't have to accept responsibility. Well, listen, it's like this. I understand you being a parent and you will do everything to protect your children, but guess what? Being a parent is no excuse to shield your ignorance. That's it. And I know there's a lot of self-righteous parents out there listening to this right now, these fucking soccer moms. They think they're high and mighty and fucking such big heroes. You don't like what I'm saying, but you know what? I'm going to feed you the pill, and it's going to taste bitter when you swallow it. I know it will. But this is the world that we live in, right? You said it yourself. This is the reality. Okay. So, what I'm saying is, I'm sick and tired of constantly being villainized because, like, say for example, if I want to go on YouTube and I want to comment on a video and whatever the case may be, and there's kids in the video, why is it that they always want to villainize people because they show a little bit, teensy weensy little bit of attention to their kids? And then they want to foster this idea that everybody, especially men, who talks to a child is somehow a pedophile. That to me is just blatantly, obnoxiously absurd. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. And most of you are probably saying, well, you don't understand it because you're not a parent. Well, guess what? Even if I were a parent, I think I would still have these same feelings. Because it's common sense. If I had a kid and they wanted social media, I would probably monitor their account. I would be in charge of their social media. If I think that social media scares me that much and the kids want it, well, guess what? At the end of the day, I'm the parent. I get to make that final decision. And that's the way it is. You parents really have to understand. You have to get on the ball a little better, and you have to think about this. I'm not saying it to piss anybody off, which I know it will piss people off, and, well, don't know what to tell you. Too bad, so sad for you. You'll just have to get over it or consider what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, you know what? Not everybody out there is trying to do something harmful. We're actually trying to be the people that we want to see in the world. We're trying to be that goodness that we want to see in the world. They all want to preach it. And mind you, the people who are preaching this, they're the same goddamn people who get all pissyfied because you speak to their kids. They want to write every grown man off as a pedophile, which is bullshit. Because, oh, Jared doesn't have kids. Right, I don't fucking have kids. So what? What does that have to do with me saying hello to your kid? What the fuck? What is, where is the connection? Where is the fault line? Will you acknowledge my kid? Your kid is a fucking human being. Your kid is a fellow person. Hello. I talk to children in the same way I talk to grown-ups, only I don't use profane language and I don't talk dirty to kids. I communicate with children just as I would anybody else. Matter of fact, I was at my cousin's house yesterday, and my 4-year-old cousin wanted me to pick him up so he could hug me around my neck and tell me he loved me, which I thought was sweet. No problem. His dad was standing right there. He didn't have an issue with it. And even if he wasn't standing there, he wouldn't have an issue with it because he knows who I am. Okay? There's a lot of parents that I've met and a lot of their children I've met, and I've gotten lots of hugs from lots of kids in my life. Okay? It doesn't mean that, something is going on because these parents don't flip the fuck out like everybody else does. They actually use their fucking heads and they say, you know what? I see how he is with my kids and I don't feel threatened by him. He has never given me any feeling or uneasy feeling about, having interactions with my kids. I trust him with my kids. He would never hurt my kids. I know him well enough to know that he wouldn't. And it's the truth. And I understand, there's parents out there who really freak out. But again, you got to come back to the basic principles of this. Because you're their parent, you are allowing them to have their own social media. You know the risks, and you're allowing it anyway. That's not anyone else's problem but yours. You got to be the parent here, and stop. Instead of accepting the responsibility as a parent, you got to stop blaming everybody else because of your failure to be a parent. That doesn't fall on me. That falls on you. I think I've made my point. I've been here for about 40 minutes or so. But the thing is, that's what I'm trying to put out there for this daily rant. And, there's a lot of things in this world that frighten me too. You don't think that I don't get afraid of things. You don't think that I don't fear for my life at times, or you don't think that I don't fear for other people's lives. I certainly do. As a matter of fact, there was another mom of a cancer warrior who got her panties in a twist because I filled her in on Milk Tyson, and she's got her head right up his ass. She won't see the forest for the trees. I've sent her the evidence, the MP3 where Milk Tyson is admitting to blackmail and extortion and sexual harassment. Whether she listened to it or not, I don't know. But instead of actually focusing on the evidence where he admits to the wrongdoing, She threw a fucking fit because I emailed her. Wow. Crime of the century, huh? Well, the last time I checked, emailing someone wasn't a hanging offense. You know? Like, so you email me. You don't know how many times I've had people email me. But I don't cry foul. I don't cry harassment. I don't, I don't like it when he's emailing me. Shut the fuck up. You know? Get a grip. Yeah, Lori, Robin, Libby, I'm calling you out by name. Get a fucking grip. I know that someone probably sent you to this video, or someone who's friends with you sent my video to you. You know what? Just get a grip. Get over your childish fucking bullshit games, you know? I fear your son's life because of your irresponsibility and your refusal to accept the evidence that's been presented to you. I am in fear for your kid's life. And I mean that wholeheartedly and sincerely from the bottom of my heart. You need to protect your kid from people like Milk Tyson and stop fucking around. But anyway, that's what happened. And the mother of this cancer warrior and I, we're not speaking anymore, which is unfortunate because I am almost certain that she read some bullshit about me on Facebook, which by the way is not true. If you're new to my channel and if you see things on Facebook about me, I can assure you that it's not true. But depending on what they're talking about, now if they say, well, Jared, it's true that you've verbally attacked some people, yeah, of course, you betcha. Next, what else you got? I'll admit to that all day long, yeah. There are some people I verbally attacked because they fucking deserved it. If they're going to come at me being stupid, I'm going to give it right back to them. Period. End of discussion. But all the other shit that has not met its burden of proof, I'm still waiting on that. And maybe perhaps I always will. I'm not going to hold my hand on my ass because it'll grow there. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go on living my life and I'm going to continue being the person I've always been. Kind, honest, loving, caring, and understanding. That's it. I'm not putting on a show. I'm not engaged in fakery. I'm not trying to pass myself off as this ethereal, flawless human being because that's not the case. I am very much flawed. I'm not perfect by any stretch. I have my faults just like everyone else. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm still me. And if you're interested in knowing more about me, and if you can listen to the things I say without getting your panties in a bunch over the fuck word or anything else, then come along for the ride. I'd love to have you in my life. I would love to, reconcile differences. I mean, it is possible to reconcile differences. The evidence is in this text message that I received the other day from this person that I've been fighting with, or I fought with, I should say, and we didn't speak for a stretch of time. I am always open to repairing friendships. Instead of jumping to conclusions, maybe you should just ask me the questions. And I only hope at some point that you will recognize the error of your ways and you'll think, you know what? I was wrong about that. Maybe I should contact Jared and try to smooth things over with him. Maybe I should try to make things right with him, because if he didn't give me any reason to think or feel the way that everybody else wants me to think and feel, then what the fuck is my problem? There you go. There you go. And basically, while we're on that subject, social media does influence people's ways of thinking. Absolutely. Social media has that effect. You can influence and manipulate people to think things that aren't true. And that right there is what the problem is in this world, is that we have social media manipulating people's minds and ways of thinking. That's why every single time, which brings me back to my original point, that every single time you find an account, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, whatever, of a young actor, and you know that the parent has full control, This is why we have parents who react, and they think they're justified in treating people like opportunists who are up to no good. And that is clearly incorrect. It's just not the way it is. Not everybody feels the same way. Not everybody is the same way. And I'm saying that the parents, how they react to that is incorrect. There's no justification for it. I could see if which I have seen on Facebook before. I have seen this on Facebook before. It was on an autism. There was a young kid who has autism, and some creep, and it was the mother had taken a screenshot and posted it to the kid's page for the world to see, and it was bad. It was bad. Someone had messaged that page and asked to see their son's naked butt, a picture of their kid's naked butt, and the mother had taken a screenshot of that, posted it on the page, included the name, and it's like, oh my God, what the fuck? That's disgusting. Why would you even ask for stuff like that? See, and that's what I'm talking about. And I do understand that not all grown men, because there's this bias against men. Not all men, or whatever the case may be, they don't make it obvious that, they got nefarious intentions up their sleeve. But for as long as I've been in communication with all my friends who, by the way, have kids, I think they get the picture that there is nothing going on with me. And I would never ask such a disgusting thing of anybody. That's not who I am. And, I get it. I fucking get it. I get it. There are parents who are freaking out, preferably mothers. They are freaking the fuck out because there are people out there who will ask for nudes of their kids, and it's disgusting, and I get it. I understand it. Mothers, I get it. I understand. I'm hearing you loud and clear. I understand. But the thing is that you can't just lump everybody into one category. Preferably men. Okay, fine, whatever. You can't lump all of us men into the same category that we have, we're up to no good and this, that, and the other. Oh, because Jared doesn't have kids, so that makes us wonder. Are you too stupid to realize that there are also men who have children who are child predators? Why don't you just ask their children? They could fill you in on some things. Hello? Give me a break. So having kids or not having kids is irrelevant, completely, 100%, totally irrelevant to that. And by the way, you don't think there's not women who are out there molesting kids, having sex with little boys? We hear about this on the news. Seems you're so in touch with the media, then you should be fully aware that men are not the only ones who are doing shit to kids. It's also the women as well. I mean, we heard about that teacher who was having sex with a young kid. She was, taking this young boy in her van and having her way with him, and we hear about this kind of shit all the time. So it's not just the men, but that is the bias against men because we're men, because we have penises. So therefore, we're automatically at fault, even when we don't do anything. All we do is wave and say hello. Well, he's only 6 years old. Yeah, so what? He's a fellow human being, right? He is capable of communicating. Yeah, I'm sure you taught him not to speak to strangers, but you're standing right there with him. Where's the danger? Where's the threat? You people really need to fucking just tone it down a notch a little bit. Just tone it down. Not everybody out there, including myself, we're not one of those people who are just out there to look for problems. We're not out there, scouring the internet for kids. That's not what we do. Not all of us. I'm not. I have no desire or need to speak to a child. But if I notice a face and I see them, somewhere like on YouTube or whatever, I say, well, I thought you did a good job. I thought you were brilliant in this performance or whatever the case may be. It's not, there's nothing hidden or secretive going on. I mean, you obviously know who I am. You have my name. Most of you have my mailing address because I have spoken with you before in messages and emails and things. What am I trying to hide exactly? But anyway, it's not even about me. It's about this idea in general that women, the mothers, I don't want to say women because not all women have kids, but mothers in particular, they let their kids have full and complete and straight access of their own social media accounts, and then they want to, instead of accepting responsibility for being lazy and not monitoring their kids' social media, they want to put the blame on the people who they don't know when they speak to their kids. That's not how that fucking works. Sorry. If you're that worried about it, hey, don't let your kids on social media. Don't let them on the internet. See how fucking easy that is? It's obvious. Don't let your kids on the internet. Don't buy them a fucking smartphone. Don't get them a fucking iPad or whatever it's called. Don't get these things for them. Don't give them the keys to the car if you don't want them to fucking drive. I mean, seriously, is it really that hard to understand? Come on now. But anyway, guys, I think I've made my point over and over again, tenfold. But I do thank you for stopping by and indulging me for a little while and just listening to some of the things I have to say, because this is very serious stuff. I'm not saying let your guard down. Don't let your guard down, but you should be a little more sophisticated about this. It's no different than elderly people who are being scammed out of money by all these people who claim to be from such and such organization or whatever the case may be. You just have to be more critical, and you have to be more rational. You have to have your own thoughts. Even if people say, well, you know what, you're crazy for letting this guy, well, you know what? He's never given me any reason to think. And that could be the case with Mike Tyson. Maybe the mother didn't have any reason to think otherwise of him. However, I have evidence where he actually admitted to being a creep. And he thought it was funny. And to all of you parents who are listening to this, I'm just going to put this out there one more time. To all you parents out here listening to this, you're out there, you're supporting Fighting All Monsters, you're supporting Mike Tyson, you are fucking stupid. You are really and truly fucking stupid. After all the shit that he said and done, you're still going to praise him? And this is particularly the mothers that I'm directing this at. I mean, when you praise Mike Tyson, do you always slip your panties off? Do you always talk to him when your fucking blouse is lifted over your head? Give me a break. You have the evidence. Don't deny it, because if you deny it, that makes you a liar, and it makes you just as disgusting as he is. So, but that's about going to do it for this Daily Rant, guys. I gotta go. It's nice outside. It's 70 degrees. I want to get out and enjoy the weather while I can before the sun goes down, because it's already going on 4 o'clock. So, anyway, much love to all of you. Thank you so much for listening and indulging me for nearly an hour. You guys have been great. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for more content to come. So, much love. Peace out, guys. And as always, toodaloo!